Welcome back to another episode of the Course Creation Incubator Podcast. I'm your host, Gina Onativia, here to help you build up the course-based business of your dreams, something that's going to sustain you for the long term, that you're excited about each and every day, whatever your outcome or your goals are. And I'm here to be your coach, to be your guide. And let me tell you, it has been a heck of a last few weeks for the Espinosa household. There's been a little bit of sickness around here, finally feeling better, and my website went down. And I debated talking about this because it's actually kind of painful to talk about, but I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We are working on the new site. I will talk about this on a future podcast because it's been a really fun, challenging, and interesting process. And I want to talk about the website because I feel like I want to be transparent on this podcast and I want to be an open book as much as possible. And when it comes to my website, it's been a bit of the cobbler's kids' shoes situation where I'm making sure that my client and student sites are 100% updated, great to go. And I wasn't really nurturing and taking care of my own site. I've talked about this on the podcast that I know I need to update my site. Well, it finally caught up to me, guys. So I'll talk about this on future episodes. We are working on a new site right now. Like I said, it is very exciting. And I think, by the way, this is what we do as moms or as parents, is that we put everyone else first and then we leave our own care for last. And that's a little bit of what happened with the website. And it's a little bit of what happened with my health as well. So if you're listening to me right now, please don't put yourself last. Definitely take care of your people. I think that's super important. But I also think it's important, I've learned this as I get older, to take the time for myself to recover, to help the website recover, help my health recover, and then come back stronger on the other side. All right, so more to come about what's happening with the website and what you can learn from my experience and my mistakes. Today, I want to talk about a different kind of course that I was talking about on a workshop I did this week with a bunch of experts, medical practitioners, financial advisors, just a really great group. And someone came on and asked about a course where you can offer different options. And is that possible? Or does it have to have a specific formula or a specific path? And I said, yes, absolutely. There's something called a menu course, which is possibly a great option for some of you. And I'm going to talk about it today. We're going to workshop it a little bit. And then if you have questions, as always, you can reach out to me, DM me on Instagram, or send me a message on LinkedIn. I love seeing your messages, guys. So the menu course is a potentially great idea, especially if you're a coach or consultant. Maybe you're doing one-to-ones and you're giving a lot of different custom answers. Because a lot of times I get coaches or consultants, therapists, practitioners, advisors who come to me and say, well, Gina, my content is so tailored and customized based on my clients. How do I build a course that works for many with that kind of information? So with the menu course, you're helping people figure out things for themselves or diagnose or play detective. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution for them. And if you've been listening to this podcast, you know I'm a big proponent of a system or overarching steps. You have a 5-part system or 3 steps. And a library or menu of options course gives you more freedom. So for some of you who are thinking, well, Gina, I don't have that kind of one-size-fits-all 3-part system, this might be a really great option for you. So let's talk through it. First of all, what is a menu of options course? So think about, you're going to get dumplings. Can you guys tell I'm hungry, right? So I'm thinking about, I've got a dumpling tray, right? And they have all kinds of shumai and different dumplings for me to eat. And I get to pick off the tray. So there's an array. Or if you like desserts, so if you're a dessert person and they bring out the dessert tray at the end of your meal, and they've got tiramisu on there and cheesecake and a creme brulee, you pick out the one that's right for you, right? You're not going to eat all those different desserts. I mean, I guess you are, if you really love desserts, but typically you would pick 1 or 2. So with the menu of options course, that's exactly what you're doing. You're giving them options. So let's talk about how you would set this up. you most likely want a few parts to the menu course. So in part one, you're setting the foundation of what they really need to know in order to then pick from the array of options. So a lot of times they need education, they need some kind of information to start before they can make an informed decision on your option. So in part one, you're laying the foundation and you're giving them knowledge that will help them decide which content to focus on next. For example, let's say we have a course, say we have a medical practitioner who's putting out a chronic fatigue course. In that part one, I would give some foundation about chronic fatigue. Okay, what is it? What is it not? I was Googling something the other day about brain fog versus dementia. Okay, there's a distinction there, right? What is chronic fatigue not? What are some common causes? What comes up for people? What's misleading about fatigue oftentimes? What are some myths? Give them the information that they need so they can have a baseline. And that's really what part one is about, giving them a baseline so they're empowered to then move on to part two, which is where the menu comes in, the menu of options, which could be the solutions for chronic fatigue. So maybe in part two, and I'm making this up, I am not a medical practitioner, I'm not a doctor, but maybe there's something about nutrition. So maybe there's a module in that part two about nutrition. Maybe there's a module about supplements. Maybe there's a module about exercise. Maybe there's a module about lifestyle routines. And so there's 4 or 5 different modules. And maybe as a student, I look at that and I say, you know what? I've got really great exercise routine, or my nutrition is pretty good. Maybe I'll check out the nutrition module. Supplements, I've never really touched that. So maybe I look at that supplement module, or maybe I look at the lifestyle because I'm looking for an overall shift to see what I can change. So the idea is within this menu of 4 or 5 modules, as a student, I might only look at 2. I'm going to pick and choose. So that's why this is why a menu course might be a great option, because 1, you have content that might not apply to everyone as your ideal student, and 2, it leaves options open because it's not just one way to say, hey, this is what you need right now. Here's the third reason why I love this menu of options course, because it's an upsell opportunity for you. It's an opportunity for you to go deeper. Because let's go back to those modules, right? So say you've got the nutrients or the supplements or the exercise, you can go deeper with another course, a bigger course or a training program or a group coaching program, something that's heavier, that's more intensive. That gives you the opportunity to do that. So say they go into the menu of options, right? So say I look at nutrients and I'm learning about that, but I'm like, you know what? I want more. Then there's a call to action to go to the bigger course or whatever the next step is. That is a great cross-sell and upsell opportunity for you. So think about how you could go deeper with your students, especially if you offer the menu of options. Now, some of you might be wondering, because I was kind of spitballing this episode before I hopped on, and somebody brought up, well, what's the difference between a menu of options course, Gina, and a membership site? Well, I think buyers of courses and memberships are different. Course buyers want a solution quickly, right? They want it now. And membership buyers are more willing to casually consume information. So with the course, I see it as a limited content creation, and you're helping with a specific issue. Then they can upgrade to other offers for deeper support. With a membership, it's a constant content creation in order to keep your members around, to keep them engaged. Because if you think about a membership month to month, I could be giving them information about nutrition and then going back to the chronic fatigue piece. Another thing with the membership versus the menu of options, with the membership, you're dripping out the content exactly what they're getting that month, right? It's a singular focus. You're not giving them the option to choose. You're not customizing it for them. You're curating content month to month, but not necessarily allowing them to choose and curate themselves. So that's another huge difference between a membership site and this menu of options course. By the way, this is a trend that I'm seeing more and more, where students want the system, but they also want to choose their own adventure and choose what's right for them and personalize it and tailor it to them, right? Being their own detective. How often have you bought a course or a program in order to solve a problem, and then learn that part of the system when it worked for you, your life, or your business. I think it's pretty rare that people buy a course and follow the entire system step by step. And I think as people have bought more and more courses, there's a bit of hesitancy to buy another course because the fear that they won't actually use all of it, implement all of it. So I think this menu of options course has the advantage of taking away that fear because they can customize the approach and still come out with solutions. You're supporting the student in building a solution that works for them and their unique needs. And that comes up time and time again. Is this course really going to work for me? Because each and every one of you is unique. Every scenario is unique, right? So when they're listening to your marketing, they're looking to see, are there other people like me? Because I want to know that I can get results. So I think that empowers them to learn more and learn the way that works for them when you have a menu of options. So much of the course industry now is tailoring to different students' needs. We're different learners or how they approach things. So I think giving them a menu of options also enables them to create the experience that's right for them. By the way, I've got a client right now who's doing a course on how to read your labs. And she's giving her students a huge amount of information. It's really great for them to play detective. And she even says in it, you can take what you want to use and leave the rest. Pick and choose. It is a menu of options course by design. So think through how this menu option course may work for you, especially if you're doing one-to-ones and you're not sure if you have a direct path or a direct system to results. This could be something that's really powerful. By the way, if you're creating this menu of options, please think through your customer journey. Listen to my customer journey episodes to make sure you have that next step, because they will want to go deeper with you. All right, next week, I'm going to start with some awesome guest episodes. I'm really excited because we're going to workshop, we're going to chat, and we're going to give you some great course and marketing insights. Please leave me a review if I've changed your thought process or how you approach your course creation or your marketing. Until next week, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get it done.